Hey everybody, it's Moderski, Gateway Funding. So today I'm going to talk to you about credit reports, how to read them, what to look for, what you're looking at actually when you're going over a credit report. The credit report that we actually pull as a mortgage company is different from the credit report that you may pull on a website. You may pull from just one credit bureau. We're actually pulling from the 3 credit bureaus, and when we use the score that we actually use is the middle of the 3, which is a tri-merge report. So I'm going to go over a couple pages with you, just show you some graphs and show you some of the sections that you can look at so that you can thoroughly understand it when you're taking a look at a credit report. If it's one that we've taken for you and we forward it to you, you can take a look at it, you'll understand what you're actually looking at. So on page 1, you'll see at the top it's just basically the information of the company that pulled the information from you, the client tracking code, the client code, the charges. And then next is the applicant's name, obviously, first name and last name. Your present address, the information there, which would show your address there. Now, an important section here is this public record section, okay? As you'll see on this report here, it shows a judgment. Okay, and then on that judgment, you'll see the court name, which is blacked out, obviously, the plaintiff, who the plaintiff would be, if this is your report, and then you'll see the docket number that you can reference to, and then you'll see when it was filed, which this case it was filed 2/1 of 2011. Then this next part here shows an amount of $3,006. Now the status here shows paid, okay? So it shows that this actually was paid. The status date was on 9 of 2011, I'm sorry. Now as you go down, you'll see the database, your residence information, okay? We have the sections blacked out here, but this shows you the exact address of the location of any home that you've ever lived in. Okay, so it may be 4 or 5 residents, it may be 1 residence. Then the next is your employment information. It's going to show all of your employment. In this case, this gentleman was the owner. As you can see, it says owner here, his position there. And then what we'll do is we'll go on to the second page. Now the second page here is, you'll see the AKA section, former name, AKA. In this case, there was 2 borrowers. Okay, so we have a husband and a wife, and they may go by Joe Smith. He may assign something as Joe Smith when his name's really Joseph Smith. So it'll have any AKA information, anything that he's ever signed, whether it's a credit card or a mortgage, a car note, whatever it might be. Next, what you'll see here are the scores, and this is probably the most important piece. So this is when I was telling you that we pull from the 3 repositories, one being Equifax, the second being TransUnion, and the third being Experian. Okay, so when we pull this report, we pull from all 3 bureaus, and you'll see all 3 scores. Now, we use the middle, so for the first borrower it would be a 767, for the second borrower it would be a 780. Okay, now as we go on to the second page, this is the information. This is going to show all of your credit history. The first column is who the creditor is. Okay, in this first column here, this is Central Loan Administration. You'll see when it was opened on 4/9, the date it was last reported, which is 12/11, the date of the last activity, which was 12/11. You see that high balance there is 635. Okay, it does show that it's a mortgage. The install, it says mortgage conventional. Now the payment section here, you see this 360 by 4243. Okay, that's the number of payments and the actual payment. Okay, and then the balance is obviously the balance that's left over. Now when you're trying to establish your credit or get a good credit history, the one thing that you always want to look at on your credit reports is that high balance number, that 635 here, okay, and then that balance number of 613. The closer they are to each other, that balance, the closer that balance is to that high balance, that's meaning that you're basically maxed out on that. Okay, so now if you went through all of these credits here, all of these inquiries here, and you were maxed out on every single one, that would have an adverse effect on your credit score. So it's important to try to pay the debt down, get your debt down. When you start to get below that 80% mark, whether it's anything. You may have a credit card for $1,000 and you keep a $500 balance. That's good. That shows that you have a good paying history, that you pay on time, that you're not maxing out your bills. So that's important to look at. So as you go down this list here, you'll see student loans, and you can see all the different type of information that's on here. Some are student loans, some are credit cards, but it's just more of a, a quick, idea of what you're looking for. Now, if we go into the last page, this will show you some derogatory things that can show up on your credit, okay? So this first one would be car financial services. It shows a repossession, okay? Payment, in the payment section, it shows a repossession. You see this past due amount, it shows 0 here, but if it was in collection and there was any amount past due, it would show in that section. And as you can see, that 30, 60, and 90 plus, that's the amount 30-day late, 60-day late, and a 90-day late. So as you can see in this exact instance here, he was late on 3 of 2007, over 60 days, and then 4 of 07, 90 days. So that can show you any of your lates, and then right below that you see the Eastern account system. That's a collection that was paid. Obviously this gentleman paid all of his collections that you can see there. But underneath here, for instance, the Eastern account system, you'll see Comcast Delaware County. So that just telling you who's disputing that, who the creditor is. You may have a company that's taken over for a Verizon bill, and you'll see NCO, which may be a collection agency. So you can kind of go through here, and then at the bottom there, the creditor information. You can see the applied bank. It gives you everybody's information and their phone number. So if you wanted to dispute something on your credit report, all the information's right there on the last page. You can contact that creditor. You can call them up and dispute and say, hey, listen, I'm not late. You're showing late on my credit report. So it's important that you guys understand these things. What you want to do is pull your credit if you can. Try to have it at least pulled every 6 months, just so you can understand, what's going on, what kind of debt you have there. You also want to know if your credit's been compromised. If somebody, if somebody maybe has your information and they opened up a credit card that you're unaware of. So it's always good to be proactive and pull your credit. Something that we can do here at Gateway Funding. So look forward to the next video. Make sure you tune in to the Real Estate Radio Show every Sunday morning from 10 to 11. You get all of this great information. And I thank you guys for watching. Take care.